Yes, this is Wardy Ward back with you again. I got my co-host JB in the building. What's happening with you?
What's going on, my people?
You know how we do it. Hey, before we get started, let's just have 60 seconds of current events, all right? First of all, we have WNBA star Brittany Griner. She could get out of her situation, but Russia wants to do a 2-for-1 swap. What do you think about that?
Ooh, ooh, ah, boy. I mean, I want the baby to come home. I really do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know about the swap they trying to propose. That's gonna be something. That's.
yeah. That's a
I
tough
mean,
one.
it's tough. It's like chicken nuggets and then filet mignon. It's
Right,
kind of
right.
like
Yeah,
I don't know. And I'm not trying to call Brittany a chicken McNugget, but that's just it ain't the math ain't mathing for me. That's all I'm gonna say.
right, right. Wish on that. Second quick point is Will Smith came out and apologized to Chris Rock finally. But what I found interesting about that was, did you know he has 6 brothers and 1 sister, Chris Rock?
Oh yeah, his one brother's been talking mad buku cash money stuff the
Hmm.
last few months since
Yeah,
his brother
Tony.
got slapped.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I didn't know his family was that big. So Will Smith
yeah,
watched it back.
they're almost like the Wayans. I thought they're about as big like the Wayans brothers.
Yeah, just not as funny, right? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Okay. Last point. Uh, the bishop who got robbed in New York for almost 400,000 or $1 million, depending on how you look at it, he's offered $50,000 for the return of his goods, right? But what's interesting is he's currently behind on a company that he owns for 335,000, and he has a multi-apartment property in Connecticut that's in
Isn't
default
that
for
like
like
4.1?
5 million.
Yep, I seen that. And did you see the church? Did you see the church?
Yeah,
First of all,
I
he
saw
did
his
a
too.
selfie. He did a what is it? A selfie talking about this is my prayer room. He
Hmm.
got Versace and Fendi.
Yeah,
He is the prime reason why people don't trust pastors.
yeah,
He
yep.
first I'm tithing and offering, and my
Wow.
tithing is going to your offering. I'm trying to figure out where all these Fendi bags came from when I couldn't even get my bills paid. You told me to pray, but I
Right.
gave you my last little $100.
Did you see his house though? His house is off the
It
chain.
looks dope.
I was like, wow. But that's what it is. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our show because we have a great show today.
Oh,
We have a
yes.
guest here who's, among many things, he's an NBA PA announcer. He's a diversity and inclusion council leader, a voice artist, a senior product engineer. Wow. And he still has time to be a husband and father. Ladies and gentlemen, please help join us and welcome Mr. Tony Pepper to the show. How you doing, Tony?
Well, first off, the name is Troy Pepper.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it. I did it wrong. My bad. Troy. Troy.
Yeah, Tony will be my dad, and yeah, he's an interesting guy. I love him.
Okay. Oh, wow. I'm going to edit that out. They ain't even going to know. They ain't going to know I did it. uh, all right, Troy, let's get started. Tell us a bit about you, man. Tell us where was you born and raised there, first of all.
Well, first off, man, it's an honor to be on the show. I appreciate the invite. You know, you guys are doing some great stuff, and definitely love to be a part and support my brothers and sisters doing some good content. And I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, so born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a hometown kid. That means I love the Pacers and I love the Colts. Went to Pike High School, got some college in IUPUI as well as Indiana Wesleyan University. And yeah, man, just from the Nap Town, man. Born and raised.
Wonderful. Now, you got any
Okay,
siblings at
okay.
all?
Yeah, I do. I have siblings. So I have 2 older brothers, family of 3. We all are close in age.
Ooh, the baby. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the baby. Well,
Yeah.
the greatest things happen when the youngest kid, it's just the greatest kid in all.
Yeah, yeah. And were any
Get all the
athletes in
good
the family?
hand me down.
True that. Hand-me-downs is real. Hand-me-downs is real. But once I got a job, I was able to,
Do
flex
your
on
own
them a little,
thing.
especially in high school.
Um, so you're number 3 of the. Were there any athletes in your family?
Yeah, so me and my brother, we played a little ball, a little football. My oldest one, not so. He was more into art. He loved drawing, pretty good drawer. But yeah, we got some athletes, musicians as well. My
Okay.
family's a pretty musical family. My dad plays guitar, drums, bass. My brother plays organ. I
Hmm.
play a little keys, a little guitar, drums, a little bit of everything. So athletes, musicians, artists, we're the Pepper family, got a lot going on.
All right. That's what's up. All right. Go ahead, Jay. Do you have a question?
So your last name Pepper, do you get like the jokes of spicy,
Oh man,
flavorful?
let
How
me
do
tell
you?
you, let me tell you, my whole life has been, you cannot make a new Pepper joke up. I mean, they're like, Troy, where's the salt? And they say, are you going to be a doctor? Or, yeah, I've heard everything. I'm a Pepper. You're a Pepper.
Oh, oh
There you go.
man.
You want a funny story? You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
So my wife, her maiden name is Belle.
Wow. So
So our
y'all
wedding
heard it all.
was Belle Pepper. So, I told her we were meant to be. It was just,
There it
you
is.
know,
There it is.
Like Ebony and Ivory right there. We got to
come
figure
on.
out. I might have to connect with you to see if we're cousins because your wife and my last name, we have the same last name. We have to check that out real quick.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep. Let's
Like,
get some free tickets.
oh,
Uh, all right, Troy. So I understand you're an engineer. Is that your main job, the engineer?
yes. So my main job is a software engineer. I've been in technology pretty much out of college, so over a decade. I've been in the engineering field, doing consulting work as well as the back end stuff, programming, different programming languages like Java, C Sharp, C plus, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that is my main job. That is what I do for a living, as well as I work for a company called Crow. So I've been there for about 10 years now, this November.
Okay.
And well, doing that, I do also diversity and inclusion work for them as well.
Yeah, I saw that. And
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
yeah, I saw you also had a long history of positive influence in the community with Krista Morehouse and the National Association of Black Accountants. What motivated you to go in those areas?
As far as with, so I grew up, we didn't grow up in the best of areas, but a lot of my childhood was in Hallville,
Ooh.
in the inner city. And Chris Morehouse was really a nonprofit that really kept kids like me, that looked like me, out of the streets, kept us occupied with basketball camps, volunteering. And my mom had worked there. And so she got us pretty much involved in there. So every activity, after school programs, stuff really geared towards inner city youth, because if they're not doing stuff as productive,
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, they follow those statistics, Black men getting the wrong things.
Right.
You give a kid idle time, he's going to do some mischief, especially in a community that is where everybody else is doing it. So yeah, I got involved and I kept involved as I got older, because I understood the foundation that nonprofits really do for inner cities. Because had I not heard somebody talk about college or talk about engineering, I would have never sparked an interest, for technology.
Yeah.
And from that foundation as a kid and those impressions, I went to doctor's camp, I went to tennis camp, I went through the Christian baseball camp. I kept myself around college people that were the kids volunteering, and I saw the impact it made in my life, and I think I've turned out pretty okay. And I definitely want to give that back, especially with the national NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants. I work for an accounting firm. I do the software for them, but we mentor college students. I got a lot of one-on-ones with different interns this year. Had about maybe 10 interns under me. Just motivating them, showing them the other side of accounting for its technology. But yeah, a reason why I do it now and trying to stay with nonprofits is just the foundation. You got to help somebody. And I feel like if you find success, you got to give it back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Number one. So quick question, because you said that you work in the diversity and inclusion. So how are you assisting? Because by you being in tech is really interesting, because there's a push presently for Black youth and our young people and just pivoting into the technology world. So how do you position yourself to help be a lobbyist for that, if you may?
As far as Black in tech?
Right.
Yeah, best way I position myself is the communication part of reaching out. So my company, I'm privileged to work for a company that has great intentions as far as their D&I initiative. As far as we had a transparency report to show the numbers. My company's pretty big. It's 5,000 plus employees. We're a global company, and we saw how we lacked in technology. And in my field, there's not a lot of people who look like me I work with. But through my 10 years being there, we have increased due to on-campus recruiting. So a lot of times firms like mine, they go to Purdue, Notre Dame, IU, right? And they're wondering why they're not seeing different faces. And the main things I brought up was, well, we're going to the wrong places. If you go to the same place, you're going to get the same results. Absolutely. So we help partner with HBCUs. So I've been to Howard University, Florida A&M, just to show them like, yo, there's some Black folk that work from some of these other firms. You know what I mean? So it's just really the initiative to find talent is the biggest, hardest part sometimes. And it gets intimidating in the recruiting process when they see only a white recruiter or a white engineer. They're like, let me see if I can find something else. But yeah, just putting myself out there to volunteer for my company. I am compensated for my dual role. There you go. But it's still, I will raise my hand anytime they ask me to, just to show another person, a minority, like, yo, I look like you and you can do the same thing I'm doing. So
of course.
Yeah, excellent. My question for you is, I grew up in South Bend, and my people told me that they saw you running a race up there the other day. So what happened and how did you end up doing that?
Let me tell you something, man. That was the hardest race I ever ran in my life. I mean, man, I like fitness, man. Because during the pandemic, man, I gained some weight, right?
We all did.
But off me. So I kind of went on a little fitness journey, and I was like 250, man. And I got down to, I think, 205 in like a matter of 5 months. And yeah, it was always a goal of mine to run the Spartan. I would see some fit people do it, and I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a try. And I gave it a try. And let me tell you something. That was tough. I mean, you going up the Notre Dame stairs, going down, and 15 minutes in, I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I
reevaluating your life instantaneously?
You couldn't quit.
What are you doing? And you look around, it's 3,000 people that ran, maybe 200 of us. And I'm sitting there like, how am I doing this? Like, what's with you, man? Yeah. But man, you know what is that environment though is so encouraging because everybody is like happy, encouraging you. Come on, let's push. And when I got done with that, I would say that was one of the biggest accomplishments, man, that you feel good getting that medal. And listen, the next day I wore that medal just for people to see, just like, hey, look at this.
That's right. I did it. You can do it.
Wear the chain.
Come on, man.
Well, we're proud of you, man. That was a nice accomplishment.
Right, that is. I hear it's tough.
So I want to get into this the announcement for the Pacers. How did that come about? Because you seem like you're a busy man. How did you have time to do this, and just what happened?
Man, that's that is that's the question. How do I have time to do it? But it's so crazy. This is a story how I got it. Let's just go there first.
All right.
I've always wanted to be in broadcasting. I love announcing. I've done it before for high schoolers, smaller level conferences. I've done voiceover work, but I've always wanted to be on a bigger stage, right? And I was playing golf. This is last September. And my buddy, one of my best friends, we're playing golf over there at Eagle Creek. Mm-hmm. And he tells me, yo, Pacers have a position. I said, what? He said, the PA announcer. I said, okay. I said, send me the link. I'll audition. He never sends me the link, so I forgot about it. It's the last day that the audition is due. So I click on it, looked it up, and it was due that night. I said, you know what, should I do it? It was kind of a hesitation, like, man, they ain't gonna pick me anyway. Yeah. And then something just told me, like, just try it. And I said, all right, let me give it a try. So, man, I give it a try, record myself, get the background music going, like a crowd, and I just do the whole thing out. And submitted it on a Friday. Yeah. And, once you submit it, they send you an email and say, hey, you'll find out if you're a top 4 candidate by that next Friday. I'm like, cool. They ain't gonna pick me anyway, but it is what it is. Because it's stuff like this is just random, man. It's just random. So, man, I submit a video, I wait. We're about to head to Disney World that following Sunday. So we played golf one more time that Saturday before we leave to go to Disney World. My buddy, he's bringing his kids and family with us to Disney World. So that Saturday, he says, yo, you hear anything yesterday? I said, nah, didn't hear nothing. Man, I'm on hole number 3, right? Hole 3. It's a par 4. Look at my phone, going through. Some said, check your spam email. I check my spam email. I have the VP of operations. I have the marketing director of the Pacers. I have one of the other operation lead trying to get a hold of me somehow through email. Yo, we need you to submit your second audition, your top 4. And I looked at it, I said, whoa, what? So I sent email, I apologized with spam. I left, went home, recorded the second audition video. And man, so we left to go to Disney World. They said they'll let the winner know the next week. So Monday, we're in Disney World. Tuesday, didn't hear nothing. Wednesday, Thursday. We get to Friday. I'm like, man, they probably chose somebody else, man. I said, what it is. Man, we're at the park. I see a 317 number that I don't know. I'm looking. I'm like, I said, hold up. I said, this is Troy. Hey, this is Dean with the Indiana Pacers. Man, I screamed and dropped the phone. Like,
you knew what that meant.
Yo. So I said, my bad, man. I said, what's up? We'll let you know that we have selected you to be the new PA announcer for the Indiana Pacers. And man, let me tell you something, man. I lost it, man. I lost it. As a Indiana born and raised, Reggie Miller, Jermaine O'Neal, like fan of the game.
Yes.
You're telling me that I'm going to be the voice of Indiana basketball. I said, this is unbelievable. It was surreal. It was, and everybody's reaction at find out like, what? How?
Man.
Because you got to think about it. Out of the millions of fans, maybe billions, there's only 31 PA announcers for the NBA in the world. And I'm like, one of 31. That's crazy.
That is. You should play the Powerball too, because you got those kind of numbers going.
You should have played the Mega Million yesterday.
Yeah. And you said you were definitely a Pacer fan prior to going in, right?
So, absolutely, die hard. The Pepper family, we love the Pacers, man. And it's a dream come true, man. Like I will say this, man. My first time walking into the arena, you go through the bottom, you get your little badge, take your pictures. Everybody's looking like they know what they're doing. And I'm just looking around like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never had that. I've had this. But, man, you go into the locker room, and I remember my first game preseason. I make a wrong turn, and I bump it. Miles Turner. I'm like, oh. I said, hey, what's up, man? He's, hey, what's up? I said, how you get to the court? He said, oh, follow me. So my first game, I'm following Miles Turner. I'm like, crazy. And so I'm walking in, man. You get on the court, man. I had goosebumps, man. Just like, because I'm like, you done gave me access. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So you get to shoot around too when you want to.
Well, you know what? It was my first season, right? You want to play it cool. You know what I mean? You want to black folk. We get a little access. We go a little.
You already know. Yeah. Be out there suit up in the game, like trying to get the real feel.
But no, you get to. I mean, you walk on the court. I can walk on the court anytime. As far as pregame and walking to the center of court, see them warm up. Man, I have a TikTok I have that I kind of show behind the scenes of what it looks like for a PA now. Yeah. And man, you get to know the players, and it's pretty amazing, man. It's pretty amazing.
So you get to talk to like all the players there and stuff, or you just kind of stay in your area?
No, you get to talk to anybody. So when you go in, it's really a family environment now that I know everybody. But even my first couple of games, I caught that on. Like, for example, like I pregame, usually I get there about 2 hours before the game, talk to the producers, go through our script. It's not just announcing intros, but it's an actual whole operation. There's a headset in my ear the whole game, and you're hearing a million voices while you're trying to announce the game. Wow. It's not just, here's your starting five. It's not just that. It's you got to go through advertisements you got to read. There's regulations that a PA announcer has to read every game. It's like a disclaimer, no walking on the court. You hear me announce stuff. So my voice is through the whole entire thing. Yes. And there's always stuff happening. If a celebrity comes courtside, Troy, we're going to announce one of the Colts players. Read this. Then I'll say, hey, please, we have the running back for the Indianapolis Colts. Like, it's always adjustments. And then I just never knew how much advertising and all that stuff is in it. It is a lot. It's not just, I thought it was just intros.
Yeah.
It's a three.
Yeah.
Man, it's a whole.
You do it all.
Oh man, it's a lot. I was like, the first couple games, I'm like, yo, this is a little too much. But eventually, you start getting your wheels going.
Mm-hmm. It's just you do the whole thing. You don't have another backup announcer. It's just you.
Well, there's two people. Well, we have two announcers. So the games that I cannot do, we have another announcer that does it.
I mean, but at the game, it's just one person doing all that.
Yeah, as far as the PA stuff, correct.
Yeah.
That is
wow.
Yep.
That's a lot. Jeez.
Man, I would say this: the hardest thing is I did the whole Big Ten tournament, basketball
I
tournament.
was going to ask you that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was. Let me tell you, I had no voice afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It literally was in 5 days. No, sorry, 3 days, like 14 games.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about? Well, I couldn't even talk the last day. Like,
boy.
And then the hardest part to me, I say the most difficult part for a PA announcer, but you got to practice to be good at it, is pronunciations.
Yes.
I mean, NBA is more foreign now. So there are some games where usually I look at our schedule to see, who's coming. And I have to practice the day before. Like I go about an hour just going through these names, like practicing them.
Yeah.
It's no longer Chris Johnson, Curtis Jackson. None of those.
Yeah, them days gone.
Miller, all right.
Luther Washington. Nope, none of that.
Yes, has a lot of American name. I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah.
But no, it takes work. It's a lot of work, but the perks of it, man, is pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool to get access and company events. You meeting players. It's pretty cool, man. It's a pretty cool gig.
Sounds
if I could
like
do it full time, I would do it.
So, how did you get the job with the Big Ten? Is that just being under that umbrella of
being under the umbrella? Because we hosted it at Gamebridge Fieldhouse, the Patriots.
Yeah.
And my boss was like, "Troy, you want to?" I said, "Yeah." Big Ten reached out, and it's crazy. Like when people hear you, it's kind of a word of mouth. It's so hard to get in sports. It's very hard. I've been trying to work for sports forever. Like on the IT side, it's just tough, and it's really who you know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, when I say this was the luckiest thing, I don't believe in luck. It was blessing from God, favor. But it's really who you know. And Big Ten had heard me, and they said they wanted me, and I said cool. And then I got another call. You guys know who Tamika Catchings is?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna ask you the next question. You see the Fever shirt on. I was about to start asking you something.
Oh, we can segue there.
Go ahead. I got you.
Well, on that note, with the WNBA, so Tamika Catchings, I had did a project with her for a episode for. You ever heard of Blippy? It's a kids guy. He's So the episode was called Blippy Plays Basketball. So my boss for the Pacers calls me, say, "Can you come in and help record this episode? They need a PA announcer." I said, "Yeah." So Tamika Catchings is there. They record a whole episode. I announced her in Blippy or whatever. And it was a pretty cool experience. And she heard me and she's like, "Did you just do the Pacers?" I was like, "Yeah, I just do the Pacers." And then she said, "Are you doing the Fever?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "If they want me to." She was like, "Okay." So because of Tamika, they were like, "Okay." Because we have a guy who does it. He's cool. He's good. Sean's a great guy. He does a great job. But they were like, "You know what? Let's add some flavor to it." And so, boom. And then I've been doing their games all season. Yeah.
Just winning all the way around.
Man, and let me ask you, man. So we've been playing the last 3 games because the renovation's going on at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. So we played at the Indiana State Fairground, and then we played at Butler. We're playing at Butler right now. Yeah. We're using the Butler Bulldogs facility to play the WNBA games, and so they're looking for a PA announcer. And lo and behold, who do they email?
There you go. He in there now.
I said, "Come on."
Right. I'm going on tours, showing off my beautiful voice to everyone.
Oh man.
Yeah, because he's on the thing, so you can go, tell him where you can,
Right. Yeah.
It's a blessing, man, and especially with the voiceover work, you get more calls now. They find out that you're, Indiana Pacers, Big Ten. So you're kind of showing you're a
And
professional.
that's a resume builder, of course. Yeah,
Absolutely.
big resume builder. So speaking of voiceovers, what type of projects have you worked on being a voiceover, or has it just strictly been PA work?
No, it's been voiceover stuff. So I've done stuff through the Big Ten. I did a Big Ten commercial. I've done spots for Gatorade. I've done did some Navy stuff. We did some Army stuff. Pacers commercial stuff. And then I've done stuff for the that's another thing I do too. The G League, NBA G League. I do their analytics actually. The Fort Wayne. That's what the name of the team is called.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really the Pacer thing has really opened some doors. And recently, I got an email from the game NBA 2K.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they reached out, and what they do is they include their PA announcers in the games. So I'm going to be not on this one, but the next one that comes out, they start production in like October. So they'll fly me out to LA to voice over 2K.
That is dope right there. Now you're forever on a game.
Yeah. He can walk in place and throw that game down. Bow. You know me.
Resume.
You know me. Keep a mic
all of
with you
guys, the gamers.
Yeah, they know him.
All the gamers know you. So now you pivoted from just basketball phenoms who want to be present at the game to the metaverse, basically, because now you're part of the video gaming system. And now when people want to have a drink of Gatorade, they hear your voice, so now you're basically people's conscience. Like, should I be healthy or should I just grab a beer? No, get Gatorade. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I like you built that. I like how you built that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what it sounds. You're building. I think that's amazing, especially saying that you're coming from, the industry you came in is IT. You're like coming from a networking standpoint, an engineering standpoint, to pivot into something totally outside of what, maybe a lifelong dream, but totally outside of what your 9 to 5 is.
Yeah, it's even in my coworkers, they're just like, what? Like when I first told them, like, how, why, when do you do this? Like, because you had coworkers, and sometimes your coworkers are not your friend; they're just your work.
Exactly.
You know,
the whole show on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna get into that. Let me ask you this question. I want to ask you something else. Now, everybody got their own team, but let me ask you: Are the Pacers going to win a chip this year? That's all I need to know.
Man, let me tell you something. No, we're not. We are in the rebuilding. We are in the rebuilding process, and I like the young talent that we traded for mid-season. Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield. He's on the trading block. We might trade him, but we'll see. But I like Tyrese Halliburton, and I like Chris Duarte as our young staples. Even Isaiah Jackson. I think he's going to be, his upside is very high. But I think led by Tyrese, Miles Turner, he might not be here.
I'm thinking he's going to go to somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's expiring contract, and he's already voiced.
He said he want to go. He's good. I like him, man. He's coming.
Yeah, he said during the season last season, he felt like Pacers don't see him as anything else but a glorified role player, and I quote. So he's kind of.
I did hear that.
Yeah. So he might. We'll see, but I don't think we're gonna. I give us a fighting chance for a play-in tournament this year, to get in at least 8th seed, possibly, depending on if we make another trade. But I like. We'll see. I said we'll see. I like the.
Do you think we need another Ron Artest type of swag, type of energy to kind of shake things up?
They got that. Benedict said.
I don't think so.
Talking about with your fist or
I mean, it depends on how you would like to take that question. I mean, I'll leave it to you for interpretation.
I think what we need is, I think the rookie we do have I think he's going to be an all-star one year. I think he's Ben Mathurin is the rookie we drafted, 6 overall from Arizona. 6'6", can shoot the ball. He shot almost 40% from 3, 47% on the floor in college. And then in the summer league, I mean, he was dropping 25, 24 easy. And he got some dog in him, swagger. And I think he's the perfect pick for us. So I think we're about 2-3 years out from really seeing a decent playoff team. But I'm interested to see what Tyrese Halliburton. He's so young, so talented. See what he does these next few years. But
yeah, I'm ready to see. I'm excited for him. I really am.
And he's a nice kid. I mean, he makes me feel old. I'm like, every time he sees me, hey, how you doing, sir? I'm like, dude, stop. Like, what? No.
I'm only a couple years older than you, brother.
Right, yeah.
Early 30s, man. Calm down, brother. But these kids are 20 years old. It's funny. Like,
yeah, they're getting younger and younger.
Millionaire.
Man, just think, we're the old heads now. So that's the crazy part. I don't like thinking that, though.
I was asking about Benedict. He's still there, right? Y'all didn't get rid of him?
You want Benedict Mathurin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the rookie. That's the rookie we drafted.
Okay, yeah, because he was calling out LeBron, and I know you said a post about poking the bear before.
Yeah,
everybody goes for the LBJ though. LeBron is the
rookies don't normally come out like that.
Hey, the game is different. These young bucks be poking at whoever. There's no OG, what is it called? OG status where you got respect for the elders.
Yeah.
Nah, the young folks is coming at you like they don't care how old you are, how seasoned or how respected you are. They coming for blood. That's what he's doing.
That's not good. That's not good, guys.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's not good. It should, but unfortunately, a lot of these young players are like that, and I've noticed it even younger. In college and high school, from the teams that I've coached, they are cutthroat. And I'm like, I would never clutch my pearls. But yeah, they are.
The sad part is LeBron's probably going to drop 50 or 40 on that kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like listen, man, I've seen LeBron in person. Like, so for example, I'm the biggest Pacer fan in the world, but my favorite player.
Ooh, be careful. He's mine too. Yeah.
And look, man, we played them, a couple days before Thanksgiving, right? And so I've never been this close to LeBron. Like, I've paid for some good seats to see him play through the years. But, I got off my, regular job. I got off a little early. I said, I'm gonna go to the stadium a little early today.
What you go early for?
And that's the funny thing you say that. So my boss, Dean, I get to the scores table, walk on the court. He say, "What you doing early?" I said, "Oh man, I was close by. I thought I'd just go ahead and just come by there and just see everything's good. You need anything?" So look, man, I get there early. I see Westbrook, walk right past him. See Rondo, see Dwight Howard was on the team at the time, and I said, "All right, this is the day. I'm gonna say hi to LeBron." I said, "This is the day. I've been a fan forever, man."
With
so
your Pacer gear on.
Pacer gear on, right? Look, I go to the back of the, where the locker rooms for the visitors are. Mm-hmm. So I go through the tunnel, and I said I'm gonna walk by a couple times, see if I see him. I didn't think the first time that I would turn, he'll be coming towards my way. And I was on my phone, so I just look up. I see this man, 6'8", 260, do-rag, flip-flops, Laker gear on. He's coming towards me. I kid you not. My armpit starts sweating. I make this up. My heart started out because you see a man on TV all the time, highlights, but to see the actual person, this is huge. And like I said to myself, Troy, you have to say something. He's coming closer, 7 feet, 5 feet. I say, "Hey, what's up, man?" LeBron says, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" I didn't expect him to ask a question. My response was, "Okay." I couldn't even get it. I said, "Oh my goodness, man."
Dang.
I said, "Yeah."
You could have had a 7-minute conversation.
Right.
And you showed.
Could have been his announcer, just his LeBron's hype man.
Man, he walked past me. I didn't think he'll say something back. And that was the crazy part. But man, it's just, I'll tell my kids, I play with them, tell my grandchildren, we play one-on-one, and then
right.
The legend will go on. It will go on.
Man, I was the only one that broke his ankle. That's what happened.
Yeah, there we go.
I've never been close to him either. I saw him at a couple of the games. Is he like really that big? And is he like massive or just
No, he has to be 265. And he's massive, man. And that play, we sold out that night. We sold out that night. And that was he had just got off suspension for hitting that one player 2 games prior in Detroit.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to make a statement.
Oh,
and here's the worst thing. This is the worst thing I can experience. As a Pacer fan, I wanted us to win that game. The lady to my right, courtside, some rich lady, she was yapping the whole game. And the third quarter, LeBron responds and says, okay. He says, don't poke the bear. You know what I'm saying? Don't poke the bear.
Dang.
And
you knew what that meant.
My boss said, oh, God, he's about to go off. Man, he dropped like 18 in the third quarter. He dropped like 30 in the second half. It was crazy. And right when he hit the game winner, the dagger in overtime, he looks at that woman and says, I told you so. And on my Twitter, I actually got a recording of him saying, I told you so.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, these players, you keep poking at them. I mean, it's when you're courtside, though, you hear a lot of different things you wouldn't hear.
I bet
a lot
you do.
of cussing.
I know that's right.
A lot of players talking crazy, jawing at the refs. Coaches acting crazy. It's crazy down there, but it's a different game down there, and it's very fast.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, why does Indiana hate LeBron so much? I would go to the games back in the days, and they'd have he was with Miami to beat the Heat thing. Boomer dropping out the that's the mascot for the Pacers. Boom, he come out the ceiling with the thing, and they was like. I mean, they hated that man. Then Frank Vogel goes to be his coach. I was like, okay, but y'all.
Man, I mean, as a Pacer fan, that was the last time we had, good team. With Paul George, Roy Hilbert, David West, Lance doing his Lance thing, George Hill. I mean, those 3 years we went to the, Eastern Conference finals, 2 years in a row.
Yep.
And we pushed the Heat, man. We could have won it, but LeBron. I mean,
y'all was the number 1 seed a couple times.
Yeah, we was number. See, last year was number 1 seed, and that was a year I'm like, okay, we could do this. Like we got a team, best defense in the league. We got shooters. Paul George arrived into who he was, and man, it's unfortunate, man. We just couldn't. I mean, if I'm gonna lose to anybody. I can take that. I can take that. But it was good times. So that was 2011, 12, 13. That was good years for the Pacers, man. Good years.
So who is, in your opinion, since you are a huge Pacer fan, who's your favorite Pacer?
Now, are we talking all time?
All time.
All-time favorite Pacer player for Troy Pepper would be I gotta go. See, most people say Reggie, right? But my favorite player will have to be Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine O'Neal. I felt J.O. I mean, I love his game. I love he was a power forward that could shoot, he could drive, he could dribble. I mean, he was an MVP at the point in time. He was an MVP candidate. He was like number 3. He was one of the best players in the league because he was dominant. And I think we had some good runs until that, Madison Palace. That was the year we was going to win the championship to me. And have y'all seen the Madison Palace?
Sorry, I will always be a diehard Pistons fan. Go Detroit.
Oh, I gotta go.
But anyway,
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm out of here. So I was saying that she's smirking. I'm like, why is she smirking when I say, you know what? I'm done, man. How she gonna sneak that in there? I
gotta stir it up a little bit. Stir it up a little bit.
I'm sorry that you're a Detroit fan. I apologize for that. Sorry to hear that. That's what I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna let you have that.
They had a few good players. I wasn't a fan because I was a Bulls fan back in the days, and they did some bad things. So, but they had talent. I give them that, but they were aggressive.
Yeah, it was aggressive. Even in the years of the Mounds of the Palace, Ben Wallace, everything. But the Pistons definitely had some good basketball. But now, Jesus, they're terrible.
I don't know what they got going on there. Yeah. We don't talk about the present. We
okay.
Yeah. I like bask in the ambiance of the past. Okay,
do,
bring up the old greats here.
do you guys think the Pacers would have changed their whole, I guess, plight if they would have kept Kawhi? You think things could have been different, or?
That's a good question.
That's a good question, because that would have been to me, because George Hill, he was established point guard through the Popovich system of Spurs.
Right.
That's what we traded him for. And when you draft a young player, especially in the mid rounds, he was drafted mid round, first round.
Yeah.
You don't think they'll be fat. You know what I mean? You couldn't have told me on draft night Kawhi Leonard would be one of the best perimeter defenders, one of the best, basketball players in this 2010 plus era. You wouldn't have guessed that.
Right.
And George Hill at the time didn't even reach his prime. And George Hill did great years with us. Great years.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would have called it. But if Kawhi if we'd have kept him, man, that would have been, I don't know, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Him and George. Paul George.
Yeah.
He was like a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
A definite diamond in the rough.
Kind of
And
like
even
Green.
still, if you, yep. If you look at him, you're like, he's subpar. But then when he comes on the floor, you're like, ooh, I shouldn't have underestimated that guy. I should have put more pressure on him,
Yeah.
And I think you guys would have had a great run if Kawhi stayed.
Yeah, I think, if we
you guys would have been contenders for a longer period.
Absolutely. But we had no idea. George, we wanted to win now. And, we were good enough to win it. It's just there's a man by the name of LeBron James that went to Miami. So, what can you do?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this
That's
question.
true.
Yeah, it seems like the Pacers don't really want to spend money, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not in the operation, but it seems like they don't want to spend money. But if Waddell, Stephen Curry was to end up here, could we win with just him added to the team? Curry.
Here's my imaginary mic. There you go.
So you talking about right now, as of August 1st, 2022, if we got Stephen Curry,
yep,
on our current roster,
yep, because he's a superstar. He get what, 50 mil a year?
Nah, we wouldn't win. I think we will make playoffs. Here's the thing about Stephen Curry. I tell you right, I think he's the greatest shooter of all time. Not even debate. But when it comes to if you was to throw him on any team, will they win a championship? It depends on what the team's constructed of.
Right.
Because he has, Draymond Green is the bulldog. He runs the offense. Stephen Curry's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. I mean, I always tell you, like, he's a shooter. He don't run an offense.
Nope.
And you got Clay. Golden State has a great roster. If you put him on Indiana right now, maybe 7 seed, maybe. Now, here's the other question. If you gave us Giannis Antetokounmpo, now he can make a contender out of us because he does everything. Yeah. Now put LeBron on the Pacers.
Yeah,
he does everything. Stephen Curry to me is a specialist. He's a 3-point specialist.
Yes,
that can dribble, drive, but to me, he's not. You got to build around him a very unique. That's why I always applaud the Warriors organization. They know how to put the right pieces, and they draft the right pieces too. So
right,
but Curry, that's box office, man.
That's what I say. I'm not a Curry fan. I think he's a great shooter, but Michael Jordan said something. He said Michael Jordan plays on both ends of the court, and I never forgot that. I never forgot that. So I mean, people love Curry. I'm like, 50 mil a year.
Well, you got to think now. The young kids, they don't care about defense, and defense is really the pivotal point of basketball. A lot of people don't understand that, though. You got to be a basketball fan to understand that. But offense is what is the glamorous aspect of basketball, as opposed to you get your points because of defense.
Right.
So, and but that's another story. We can analyze on that all day.
What do is shoot 3. That's it. Shoot 3.
Yeah.
But I would say the NBA has changed. The defense is not as great. To me, I always tell people this with defense in the NBA, because the scores, every score now is 150 to 130. I mean, it's a high scoring game. But I say this, it all changes in the playoffs. And I say this, you can play decent defense from quarter 1 through 3, but it really comes down to fourth quarter defense.
Yep.
If you can, that's when you lock in. And regular season is fun to watch, But to me, like you saw, this is one of the most exciting playoffs I've seen in years.
It was.
And down to fourth quarter, running your strategy on defense. And you see how they did Jason Tatum. They locked him up.
Yeah.
Yep.
They normally do that, lock down the best player.
Yeah, they locked him up. He couldn't do nothing in that series.
Yep.
Let me ask you this question.
That good old boxing one.
When Milwaukee won that championship, do you think that was a fluke, or because so many people got hurt, or was just Milwaukee just destined to win that thing that year?
No, they was going to win that year. They was the best team in the NBA. And I tell people this, I get a lot of flack. I've been on a couple podcasts, caused some controversy, but I tell people this. If Milwaukee, Chris Middleton, which is the second best player on Milwaukee, if he doesn't get injured in the playoffs this year, Milwaukee would have beat Golden State Warriors. Not even close. Because one thing about the Warriors, because Boston could have beat them if Tatum was more mature, but he's not arrived yet. I think he's still a young superstar. Yeah. He's not there yet.
I agree.
I just believe that in Boston showed they can play defense. It was tough for Golden State. But if Milwaukee, my God, if they had Middleton, they would have beat Boston. Because remember, Boston took the Bucks 7 games this year. Mm-hmm. And, Giannis dropped 50 and still lost. But he only can do so much, without his he's backhand, but he needs his Robin. But I think Milwaukee would have won this year. I think that team they constructed a great team. And I think Drew Holiday, guarding Steph Curry, which he does the best job at. Yeah. And then Giannis, you can't stop him, man. There's nothing you can do.
He really only got one move. He comes down 100 miles an hour, do a spin move, and go for it.
And it still works every time, though. All you need is one move. That's all you need.
You can get in front of him.
Hook, it doesn't matter.
Get in front of him.
Ain't nobody getting in front of the bulldozer.
No.
I don't want to get in front of him, so I know plenty of the players don't want to.
No, I don't either.
He's when I announce him, you see it on TV, but when you see these dudes in person, I was watching the Pacers. There was literally nothing physically we could do. I was like, he dropped 40 on. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
he's just brute force, and he doesn't.
He's a juggernaut.
Oh man, he's a freak. That's why he's a Greek freak. That's what that's.
Yeah. And him and his brothers have all got chips already. That's crazy. That's just unbelievable. And from his background, the way I was wondering why he was so loyal to Milwaukee, but they went and got him when he wouldn't even think about basketball and groomed this dude. So he's loyal. So I doubt he'll ever leave unless they want him to.
I love his story.
I think Giannis is a monster from Space Jam.
He
to
might
this
be.
day.
He might
I
be.
think he's a monster.
Yeah. I love his story.
He is definitely nothing.
Yeah. I like Giannis. He's funny too, but I love how them boys take care of their mama.
They sure do. Respect to that. Here's a question that comes up a lot. LeBron or MJ? I know they're two different eras, but what do you think? What are your thoughts?
He better get me in trouble, man. You better. Now, I'm gonna say this is the approach I tell everybody. Now, the era of basketball of which Michael Jordan played, compared to the era of basketball LeBron plays, it's two different eras. When I say eras, I'm talking about even the rules and regulations. See, in Jordan's day, they could hand check. There was more physicality allowed. LeBron, there's no hand check. You got to play real defense. You got to really beat the person to the spot. And MJ, people want to argue the championship 6 for 6. And then they say, well, LeBron lost in the final. He only has 4 out of 9 or whatever. But to me, overall, when you look at points, assists, rebounds, steals, you start looking at strictly stats. LeBron surpasses in almost everything.
Yeah.
He's
shot. Controversy.
Uh-oh, J-Bay, what you think about that?
You need background music now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, through the statistical point of view, and you got to put in longevity. LeBron is a freak of nature to do what he does, to average 30 points at year 19 last year. Mm-hmm. We take it for granted of how crazy that is.
Oh, yeah.
In year 19, there was nobody. I think the highest average is 14 points a game for a superstar. LeBron, I don't know. He was made in the laboratory. But to me, out of MJ, like, I always lean towards LeBron, but I always say 1A, 1B. Either way. To me, as long as you got Michael and LeBron in your top two, you know basketball. That's all I got to say.
Gonna win. Yeah. I see. We friends. I got you.
I agree with him too. Yeah, I agree with that too.
We here.
Hey,
Okay.
I just try to lift one up and bash the other one. I just can't do it.
I don't either. I don't.
Same.
Really, I respect both of their greatnesses. I think that LeBron, he didn't have some of the luxuries that MJ had, in my opinion. He didn't have a Phil Jackson. He didn't have a Scottie Pippen. He didn't have a consistent team. He didn't even have a father growing up. So, I mean, there's a lot of things he didn't have. And for him to make it that far, I'm just amazed that he was able to do that.
And
so
we could go into statistics with Pippen and how he was very pivotal to the Bulls, but he didn't get the flowers like Jordan did. And all that stuff, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Yeah, they did him dirty. They gave him a bad contract that he should have renegotiated, I think.
Yeah, they gave him like he was off the streets to seats type thing. And
he took it though.
It wasn't
he signed that though.
He did.
It was his
desperately, but his talent proved that he should have gotten. His agent was trash. It really was. Trash can punch. Really.
Yes. So Troy, what player do we need right now? Who are we missing? Well, what's the one player that we can get in to move us up faster to get a chip here? Westbrook?
Let me see. The one player I always was saying earlier in the summer was DeAndre Ayton, center from the but they matched it and took him.
Real quick.
It wasn't even. That was the worst hour of my life. You know,
we're like, oh man.
The Pacers don't do that. We don't spend money like that. Usually we try to go through. We're always a middle level team. We in the middle of the draft. We draft a mid player. We just stay average. And this was the way our management was like, let's shoot for the stars, land on the cloud. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that was the player I thought would be perfect for us. Right now, based on availability, I think we just go through the rebuilding process. I think we just, I think we're going to make some trades as far as to get some more draft picks for next year's draft. Because honestly, with our roster now, I don't think we're a great team. I don't even think we're I don't know.
Okay.
We're one piece away. But to me, when I say piece, I mean development.
Yeah.
I think we have a player here. I think Chris Duarte, Tyrese, and our rookie, we have a core. And I think we got to, just like the Warriors were patient with their core.
Yeah.
And built it out and look how long it lasted. We got to do the same. Yeah. We can't buy a team. You know what I mean? We're not, superstars don't come to Indiana, period.
Ooh, they don't.
So we're going to build it the old school way like Golden State did. And it's a 4-year plan, man. It's a 5-year plan. Yeah. I'm patient too.
Yeah. I heard they might try to get Green from the Warriors here. I heard that's a possibility, but because he wants.
I doubt it though.
You don't think so?
I doubt he leaves though. I don't think anyone's going to give him. He's kind of in the same position Ben Wallace was when he got traded from the Pistons, in my opinion. I feel like that would be the worst decision just because you're being greedy, trying to get more where you are eating pretty good where you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Draymond is going to leave.
I think he's more important than Steph, so that's probably why he want more money. He runs the offense.
True, but leave and see how important you are. It's somewhere else. Let's do that.
You're right.
I would say Draymond. Without Draymond, that clock don't work. That system don't work.
Exactly. That's what he's saying.
How pivotal Draymond Green is for Golden State Warriors' success. He is the heart, and he's a point guard, really.
Yeah.
Whole offense.
Yeah, it goes to him.
When he was injured, their record went down.
Yeah, then Steph mysteriously got hurt.
He plays. I don't think he's $100 million worth at this age of his career, but that's funny. I just was shocked. He said, "I want over 100 million." Nah, not at this point. I think you gotta
tell him to leave and see what happens.
Yeah, there we go.
Like I hate trying to press the button, and I love Draymond. I love his vigor. He gives me bad boys in a sense. He gives me 88 Pistons, slightly dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Funny?
But it's good basketball at the same time.
And you know what's funny? Like it's just crazy. So I know. So one of my good friends, one of my best friends, he's a stylist. So he styles Jason Tatum, Draymond Green, quite a few NBA players, and his company's called Up Next. It's Up Next. He's a styling company, and every year I go to LA, hang out with him, and so he's really good friends with Draymond because he helps dress him. So I met Draymond, and when I met him, I actually sat next to him on the couch, we watched the TV, chilling. And when I met Draymond, I'm expecting the Draymond me and you were talking about, that grit, that man, he's the most, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, good, bro. Yeah. Just chill.
Chill, yeah.
I guess when you
those usually be the monsters, the sleeping bears. That's usually the most of the time. That's how they
and
are.
if I was to punch him, he probably would have turned up on me. But he's a very calm, easy. I have some headphones he gave me that was a couple years ago, and I still have to this day. And I was like, he's just a cool dude. I've met him maybe twice, and he's one of them dudes that's just chill.
I can believe
That's
that.
dope.
I think he's just playing his role on TV.
Yeah,
when you got referees, you can do all kind of stuff. But in real life, you know what to do.
I mean, but at the end of the day, you got to be a role anyway on the floor. You got to intimidate the other team.
There we go.
And by any means necessary. Of course.
If that's flopping, if that's pushing,
right, whatever it takes. All right, well, let's move into our second section of this show before we wrap it up. It's called Getting to Know Your Rapid Fire. Just going to shoot a few questions for us at you, and you just tell us what you think. First question is, what was Disney World like when you went there, and did any of the characters ignore your kids?
That is a great question.
I'm just asking. I got to ask.
So what was it like? Okay, first part of your question, it was hot. It was expensive. But man, the memories were priceless. Disney does everything big, and I enjoyed it. And no, every single one somehow got my daughter got their attention.
Okay.
I don't know if it was their dad yelling to say, "Yo!" I was the one yelling. But every single one got my They didn't know.
So disclaimer: we will share this on the Shade Room so everyone can see the counter that little black babies are still being seen.
Oh yeah, they hyped that up
by Disney. Okay.
Oh yeah, man.
No, they said we know that voice. Isn't that the Pacers' voice?
Yeah, we got to make sure we see him. We got to
make sure both them kids.
But I wasn't the Pacers' voice yet, not yet until the next day.
We knew it was about to be him.
They knew
it was about to be him.
All right. Next question is, how did having kids change your life? And did you think you could love somebody as much as you love your kids?
Man, that's a good question. When I say change everything, we know what it does for me. There's so many ways you can take this question, but it changed my, I've always been an ambitious, motivated guy. Yeah. But with kids, it amplified that to want to get and obtain a certain career level, financial level that I can pass down. So every day, it's a motor. And when I take them to school and leave them, it's always in my head, like, why am I doing it? Because at first, with me and my wife, we got married. We didn't have kids like 5 years later. We traveled a lot, and we just did us, worked on our careers, got promoted. And that was just for me and my wife. But to have that little person be your engine, and then same one that gets on your nerves when they don't listen, but they tell you, "Daddy, I'm so proud of you." I'm like, where did you learn to sing?
You know what I mean? You got the tear of glory hitting down your cheek.
Man.
Oh man.
My daughter said the other week, she says, "Daddy, you're doing a great job." You know what, man, I had to turn around. And I was having a bad day. And I said, "Yo, what in the world?" It changed everything. It made me soft. I tell you, I got 2 little girls, man. 2 little angels.
Yes. Yeah. I'm with you. I got 2 girls too. That's why I asked you that question, because
man. It's
I just never knew that type of love. I just like, so then you had me like, man, you'll do anything for them kids, man.
I'm a crybaby. I'll do anything. They spoiled child.
Oh man, it's crazy. I hate and love it at the same time.
Yeah. I act like I'm hard, but I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
Man. I'm soft. They made me. I cry on movies that I cried over now.
Be watching Moana like, why did we do
Next question is, now you said you went through that weight loss. How did you have that motivation to get it off, and how are you keeping it off?
Man, the best thing I did, the motivation was, so the pandemic hit, and I was gaining weight. I was traveling a lot for my job, consulting, and man, I just started gaining weight. And then the pandemic hit in March 2020, and then March 2020 to April, I gained like 10 pounds, even more. And I had bent over to tie my shoe, and I was out of breath.
Ooh.
And then I said,
Hey.
you know what? I was like almost 260. I said, all right, I got change. And I saw my buddy, my best friends, he lives in LA. He was posting on his Instagram story of him in a Zoom session with a trainer. Because he was doing online Zoom session fitness stuff during that time. And I said, what are you doing? He said, you want to join it? So I joined it, met with the trainer online, and then I had a whole plan for like 60 days. And we would meet up on Zoom 3 days a week. And then I just stayed. It was accountability. That group of 6 people held me accountable, and I held them accountable. And we just all lost weight together. And then it just, you do something, 30 days in a row, 21 days becomes a habit.
Right.
It was for me, and I kept working out. I kept running. I kept lifting weights, and eventually you just love it. Like, I love lifting weights. I love doing like hit work. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's a love, because you're making your body, you want to look a certain way in a polo or a t-shirt. And man, it was the greatest decision ever. But what keeps me going is just, I want to fit my shirts that I bought, and I want to waste money.
There you go. That'll do it. JB, you work out too, don't you? You're a fitness person?
I do. I do a little something in the gym from time to time. I love it. I'm the same way. So it really becomes just, when I'm stressed, I go work out, feel better. If I want to just blow, it's almost like how people go pray and meditate and things like that. That's my meditation time. That's my time to myself. Being a parent, like we all are, that's something that, you want at least 30 minutes to yourself, so that you can kind of recalibrate, so you're not taking your frustration on your kid, or, or your spouse, or your parents, or whoever. So it definitely it changes your life. It definitely does.
Absolutely. Okay.
Perfect.
So come on, Ward, join us.
Come on.
I'm thinking about it. I have an affair with the Twinkie, so I'm gonna have to think about this.
Oh, I'll bring it to the gym with you. You can do curls with it, like Nutty Professor.
All right. I seen the pictures of Troy. I said, man, he really did this. And he's like, wow, most time that stuff takes years. He's like, it did a couple months. I was like, man,
it'll
real.
That's that determination right there. He was determined.
Yeah. I was doing
it takes years, because you start curling the wrong thing.
Yeah,
them Twinkies and Snickers start calling your name. That's what happened.
You're right.
And it's easy to do it. It is so easy to do it. Oh my goodness, man.
Next, I got 2 questions for you left. If you could have coffee with any historical figure, who would it be?
Any historical figure have coffee with?
Or hot chocolate, dead or alive?
I would have to go. Man, that is a tough question. I would have to go probably Barack Obama.
Okay.
I feel like I would have an interesting conversation with that man. Just how that whole process of him, being the president, his insight, even the stuff he's doing outside of, his office, some of the investments he's made, and some of the stuff he's in. I think that will be, I'm a very inquisitive guy outside of all the stuff I do now. I think that would be a great conversation, man.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I didn't think about that. That would be a good one. Yeah.
That's a good network too,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great
question.
contact.
Oh yeah.
How did you meet your wife?
So I met my wife in high school, but we didn't date in high school. So she knew me, I knew her through the same mutual people. And then, we was always good friends. And then she went off to college to Anderson University. I stayed local here, IUP. And I saw her at a church convention. It was a church service, some conference. And first time I saw her, wow, and I was like, hey, what's up? And then we eventually went on another. And That was like 2011 or 12. And
Oh,
then
don't get in trouble now. Please don't get in trouble, Lord.
hold on,
We
let's see.
going.
We
I
started
got
dating. Yeah, I got. Hold on, I gotta think real quick. 2012 August, and
okay.
then we were official. We were talking that whole year.
Oh, okay.
Then we were official August 2012, and man, I got proposed. I proposed to her that following May, and we got married that October. Like, yeah, we
Oh,
dated for
look at
maybe,
it. Oh.
and then that was it. But
Hey, yeah,
the greatest decision I've made in my life
I
by
can
far.
tell. I can tell when you ask somebody about how they met. If they
Look, he lit
smile,
up.
they
You see
like
him
them.
light
Yeah,
up?
that's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you
Man,
know.
Yeah.
there's great pepper,
He
love, and
had
some
that glow.
All right.
Thank you.
What is your favorite TV show or something you binge watch?
Ooh, that's so. I got two answers.
Go ahead.
My favorite TV show of all time is Martin, by
Oh
far.
yeah. Okay.
So right now, what I'm binging right now, one of the greatest things I've binged, I got three answers. Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And then I would say right now, have y'all seen Terminal List on Prime?
No, I ain't see that one.
Oh,
Check it
that's
out.
on the list. So I'm gonna have to watch it.
When I
Hold on, let me
say
write it down.
2 episodes, you're like, yo,
Hooked.
check it
There
out,
it
man.
is.
Just
Okay.
let me know watch it. Terminal
Oh.
List. Check it out, please.
Okay. I can tell you. It's a good one. I feel your energy. It's on
I
my
will
list.
not. I know TV and I know
Okay.
show. I ain't gonna steer you wrong.
All right.
It's a good one. It's good.
All right. My last question on this round is can you use your announcer voice and introduce the What's Up Award podcast? Let's see how you do it. Give us your best Troy Pepper.
No, is it you said say the name again one more time.
What's Up with Ward
What's up
with Ward.
What's up with Ward? Now welcome to the greatest podcast of all time. What's up with Ward? That's the best I can do right
There you go. That'll get your job. That'll do it. Did you have
He's
any
hired.
you had any questions for him, J Bay, before you wrap it up?
No, I don't actually. But I want to say thank you for letting us take the time with you and giving us some great tidbits on your career path and your love. Your what is it? 10 years is well. Happy anniversary! I want you to tell wifey happy anniversary, definitely.
Mm.
So I feel honored that we did this on your 10th year dating anniversary. We gotta make sure we get the date right because we don't need wifey being upset about it, right? But yeah, I'm all good, Ward. What about you?
I think I'm good. I just wanted him to also tell us where our listeners can find him on social media. Where can they find you at?
Absolutely. So you can find me at Troy Pepper _ Once you type in Troy Pepper, you'll find me. I'm on LinkedIn as well as Instagram. I post on there, and then check my TikTok out. It's at Troy Pepper. I post inside stuff on how a PA announcer looks in NBA and some behind the scenes player stuff, interactions. But yeah, check me out, man. Look, you guys are doing an awesome job. I enjoyed the podcast. Hopefully I was good enough where I can be invited back again. But you guys got something going here, man, and love listening. And we'll listen to this day, man.
I appreciate it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close the
Thank
show
you.
out with a reference from one of my favorite coaches, John Wooden. And he was basically talking about how everybody's a leader to somebody else. And he was exemplifying the depths of character that we ultimately speak louder than our reputation. So basically, he said, be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is who you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think of you. So again, thank you for joining our show today, Troy. On behalf of J Bay and myself, peace.
Deuces, man. Later.